Hello everybody, Isabella from Prior Attire speaking. I need to crouch a bit. And welcome to dressing up in a Tudor regal outfit, part 2, or rather redone. We had this gown and this set featured before, many years before actually, but it was my earlier videos when I wasn't speaking. So it's just with a little bit of information and you cannot really cram a lot in the text. So I thought I'll do another one of these, mostly because I need to sell this gown. So I thought, well, I would like to have some more photos of it and it would be nice to have a little bit more videos of that as well. It's just a stunning outfit and I spent an absolute fortune when I was preparing it. It was made to be worn as Queen Catherine of Aragon in Peterborough Cathedral when we worked for several years. So it was a work investment. But I haven't done that for years. And although there are a few Tudor events, I don't need a queenly costume anymore. So it needs to go and live its life as it should at a royal court. So hence the video. Plus I think we got some more new research coming, so there should be more information on it as well. So without further ado, I see I have a companion today with me, one of my kittens on the floor. I'm not sure if you can see Aries, but he's somewhere there. Without further ado, I would start with the usual layers, which are more or less the same for most of the 16th century. We are looking specifically at the first couple of decades of the 16th century, probably around 1510 to 1630-40s, and again looking at royal outfits. So I would have a crowd of servants around me. Each lady would have a function, each lady would be doing specific things with helping me dress. I would have one lady responsible for my stockings and my hosiery, my shoes, another lady responsible for my headgear, another one responsible for my fur bits and pieces. Speaking of fur, we have another kitten coming here. I'll show you later on. They have very unauthentic modern tracer colours on, but they will feature at some point. So yes, I would have a lot of ladies dressing a queen. Obviously not something I can afford at the moment, and at the same time Queen wouldn't be talking to you guys. So my videos, because lots of people comment on that, my videos are to show you educational part of it. They are not to create a full illusion of me being as it was, because that wouldn't be it. Not in a modern house, not with a television, video and modern kittens. Although I have pretty authentic medieval Tudor rushes on the floor, so that's great. Anyway, let's start again. Linen chemise, that would be your basics, and this one is made in a very interesting way, showcasing, basically you finish each piece separately, you hem it, and then you use decorative stitching in silk to put the pieces together. I've made it, my goodness, must be at least 15 years ago, and the stitches are still holding strong despite being machine washed several times. So that's your chemise. That's the stuff that would be laundered most often. That's the stuff that keeps all the body oils in and you sleep in similar attire. On my head at the moment I've got a little bit of a coif, just something to keep my hair covered. My hair is currently quite short, so I cannot really plait it the way I would like to for my Tudor styles. Plus I've lost my beautiful Tudor tailor plaiting lace. Can't find it for some reason. So this will have to do for the time being, and I will talk about headgear a little bit later on. On my feet I've got, not sure if Lucas can see here, there you go, woolen stockings, and I'm going to put my shoes first. I used to have shoes that match the dress in leather and with sort of silk pullouts, but they are not as well made as these ones. These ones are from LP Historical Shoes. I think they're Slovakian, and they are beautifully made according to... Sorry?
NP, isn't it?
NP.
I think it's NP.
NP, yes. Yeah. NP Historical Shoes. Beautifully made, hand-stitched. Absolutely stunning work, and they are very, very comfortable. They're quite worn, as you can see. I'm using them quite a lot for my other work. Beautiful decoration in leather, so that's just stunning. Very, very comfortable. Sort of Tudor Mary Janes, really, aren't they?
Very much.
Okay, I can see my face now. Sorry, I've been talking to you've been seeing my neck all the time. I'm trying to squeeze it. Right, so my shoes are in. And my first layer will be my petticoat. I'm gonna help here. Now we're chucking stuff at me. You've seen this petticoat many times before. My basic silk petticoat, red. Most of them were red. We have quite a lot of mentions of red petticoat and bodies. This could be bodice, so it could be with parts that cover your body partially at very, very least, but they don't have to be. So I've had this one for about 25 years now, all hand stitched. The silk has been washed because sometimes you just have to, and it's still holding up quite nicely, which I'm quite surprised at. I'm more surprised if I can button it after all those years. Ice cream over the summer is not very good for your waist.
I'm sure you'll still fit perfectly.
Okay. I'm in. I can't breathe. Well, I can breathe, but I'm in. But this one could be a nice little sort of part of the body here. Right, it's already hot here, so I'm going to take as little time as I can. Next part is a partlet. This is a little linen piece. This one is just embroidered with some beautiful black work. Not by me, I'm absolutely hopeless at embroidery. And this partlets would have several different features. Could you adjust it a little bit so I can see my face when I'm closer by? I'm sorry, you might have to do some more work, I'm afraid. Better.
Happy to help.
So in this instant, you can see it sort of ties on the arms, theoretically at least, yeah, it ties on the arms, so that it doesn't move too much under your kirtle. And in this particular instance, it would really shelter your skin from the harsh sun. This one is done. I can pin it inside in a second. You could have much warmer partlets that were worn outside in winter as well, so that would be providing warmth. This one is just to screen from the sun. And at the moment we are baking here in the UK for the week 5 of heatwave, and no rain for 5 weeks either, or 6 now. So that's a little partlet. Next part would be a kirtle. And kirtles at the times were deeply... Oh, sorry, little cat. Sorry. She'll come later. And kirtles were structured garment, depending how much support you needed. This one is in silk, a little bit sun damaged, as you can see a bit. This one is in silk and silk velvet skirt, lined with a lot of silk, guarded with silk as well. Now the bodies are 2 layers of buckram, 2 layers of linen buckram, and this can be additionally reinforced with reeds, which this one is because I do need whatever support I can get. But surprisingly, even buckram on its own can provide a lot of support for busty ladies. You can see the decoration here. The velvet goes on the satin. This one you would never really see, so it doesn't actually have to be in silk at all. What you will see is the bits around the neckline, so they're covered with silk velvet with some braid and freshwater pearls. And you can put lots of different decorations here. It closes at the back with lacing, with hand-stitched eyelets, and it's quite heavy. Not very heavy, but quite heavy. All those pearls, all that velvet, it does sway a little bit. Right, I'm going to remove my coif and be very undecent for a moment. And I'll try to put it on. Possibly we'll have our helpful videographer to lace me in it somehow. We loosen it up. Oh, coif off. Sorry, cats. Right. Well, I managed to somehow squeeze through. Now the lacing at the back is cross lacing. Usually you would have spiral lacing as much more popular. Cross lacing did exist. We do have records showing it being used in earlier times as well. So it did exist, but it required more lace. So definitely for lower classes, you wouldn't be wasting your lace, and it took more time to lace. So if you're in a hurry, again, middle or lower classes, it's much easier to do it on your own. I'm going to stop it for a second for my helpful videographer to lace me up so it wouldn't be too boring for you. Okay. Right, the kirtle is on. My coif is back on, so I'm a respectable woman again. And it's actually not too bad. I thought it would be too small, but I fit it more or less. It has a lot of skirts. I might need to go a little bit further. Quite a lot. And I'm going to take this opportunity and put a bit of a jewellery on as well. It'll be easier. I'm going to talk a little bit about headwear before I put the main gown on, because it's going to be really, really hot when I do it. The silk metallic brocade does not breathe best. So there you go, a little bit jewelled by Gemiers of all things. Come on, there you go. And let us talk about headwear. I will be wearing an English bonnet, or as nowadays it's called English hood. They were called bonnets at the time. I've made a few videos of slightly earlier styles, so you can have a look at that. I'll try to pin it here somehow. This is the evolution of that. So that's an earlier paste, which is just the background covered with linen with some wire with a decoration billement stitched on. This can be very easily replaced. So you can put a different billement on different pastes. The pastes were just very basic, didn't need a lot of doing. What I have added to mine, from the experience, is a little bit of wool padding where the ears are. It makes me a little bit deaf, but it's not a bad thing sometimes. But it's also much more comfortable on the ears if you're wearing it here all the time. So most of the modern English hoods depict one piece, but in fact there were several pieces all pinned together, so you could mix and match and swap stuff very easily. Hold on to this one. So that's the one I prepared earlier. It has the paste, the same shorter one because it's a later style. Again, with this thumb element was sort of stitched directly on. I can put more on it if I really want to. Then a veil goes on in black velvet. This is a loose veil, so typical for sort of earlier styles as well. You could also have the two typical lappets with a little box at the back of it. That's another style you can go for. You can see both of them being used. Over that, you've got your frontlet, which is a piece of fabric that's been pinned on both sides. It can be unpinned and leave long frontlets hanging, or pinned back here. So at some point you end up with the very, very short bonnet with just 2 strands at the back. This was all very convenient because you could actually swap things as you saw fit. You didn't have to have loads of different bonnets to fit different dresses. This one, the pearl decoration will be pretty generic, and you can just swap this one to match different gowns. The rest stays the same. It's also easy to remove for washing. So that's the English bonnet I'm going to wear later on. As for French styles, I've already covered that a little bit more with the Flemish gown. I will try to get the video here. What we have here is one of my own earliest French hoods, or French bonnets, or rather a modern rendition of it. I think I know Nina and Jane from the Tudor tailor worked quite hard of sorting out what actually went into making these, and that was a simplified version for sort of reenactors who do not have a lot of servants and who do not like to help them pin everything together. It was just an idea of having all things together in one point, so we just put it on and it's ready. Theoretically, again, you have a paste, which is the background covered with linen. You have your paste, you have a crescent or billement, your crescent over. Again, normally it would be pinned. Billement on top would be pinned and removable. You can see that in later styles as well, and the veil could be removed as well. So it was all held together by pins really, but it made it very, very versatile. Not as versatile, well, maybe not as convenient as nowadays. So even that little frill here of little silk organza, that would be an edging of your little coif, for example. So these styles are very useful for everyday modern reenactors and living historians, because you don't spend a lot of time and you don't worry of things going on if you're working in a historical mansion, for example, or demonstrating historical crafts. It looks absolutely spot on, so just a shortcut, I suppose. Well, I'm not wearing this one today, I'm sticking with good old English stuff. Oops. As mentioned before, hold on. On many Tudor portraits you see the gable hoods or the English bonnets being worn with bits showing here, and that's usually your own hair, plaited and braided, just like in one of my earlier videos, I think English gown videos. Now my own hair is now too short to actually do that, so I'm basically going to be cheating with a bit of silk, padded silk, that will work quite nicely. Again, I need to scoop a little bit. That will look quite nicely over my head. I'll put it in a second. Right, I think I cannot delay any longer and I need to put that gown on. And although I love it immensely, it is heavy. It has got about 8 meters of very, very expensive metallic brocade on. Come on, get me on. So it is possibly one of my heaviest garments. If you're interested in heavy garments and how heavy garments wear, I've got a separate video for that. So I've got this. Now this fabric now retails for 280 quid a metre. I got it for a little bit less, but not by little. And there is loads of it. It's all lined in silk. It has fur reverse cuffs, proper fur. And the inside, interestingly, you see a lot of bags being quite sort of bustled, at least protruded. I don't have a posterior that protrudes too much. So gowns had little sausages, so bits of stuffed velvet and rolled velvet sewn inside in the folds. So that's what actually gives you that very nice fillet of nice fat plaits at the back. Right, let's... Oh my god. It is heavy. I need to grab my sleeves. 1 sleeve, 2. Oh. I'm in, okay. Sorry? I know I need to go back in a second, but I want to show you the details. Now the gown laces, it has frontlets, which are just basic bits of silk, slightly stiffened with reed, with eyelets, and that's what it laces with. So you can actually adjust quite a lot for what you have. And over that you have a placket. Placket would usually be held by pins. Again, I've got pins, but from a modern reenactor or interpreter, what you can have is little loops, worked loops of thread and hooks and eyes on your placket. That makes it much faster, less fussy, and obviously it's very difficult to pin it on yourself. I will be doing that in a second, but if you have servants, fantastic. If you don't, you're screwed really. So much easier. Also stays safely all day no matter what you do. So that's a bit. So I'm going to place the whole thing up. It will be sometime. This one is spiral laced. The lace is linen. That shouldn't be too much. Purple fabric would be very expensive and restricted by laws, sumptuary laws, to nobility and royalty. So basically, if you saw someone wearing purple, you didn't have to think, you knew that person was the highest status. Princesses, princes, queens and kings only need to apply. So you can see my dilemma. I've got lots of, I wouldn't say lots of events, but there are events I can go to in my sort of middle class kit, but I cannot really do much in this one. So it needs to go to a home when it would serve a queen or a princess. The other way, okay. I've got some malicious whispers coming up from me.
Hopeful whispers, hardly malicious.
I mean, okay, hopeful whispers. Okay, should be faster now. Hopefully. So especially purple with gold, and that's metallic gold. Nowadays, obviously, it's not real gold, it's lurex. We've seen a beautiful exhibition in Paris last year on cloth of gold origins. But originally it would be a thread covered in filaments of gold. So this fabric would be even more expensive and even heavier. That kind of gown would probably be worn just for state occasions. So you wouldn't be doing much in it. I mean, yes, you can. I've been doing loads of things in it. I've been doing push-ups in it. I have a video I will post. But with the original heavy thread, probably would be a little bit more difficult. That expense is just mind-boggling, to be honest. I just can't imagine how much it must have cost to hand weave, to prepare. Oh, just unimaginable. And very, very, very expensive. Right, I'm mostly in, I think. I must say, I do like Tudor styles. They are very flattering for any silhouette, but also very, very comfortable. I do like the bodies, I do like the support they offer for the bust and the back. And they don't really restrict waist too much. And you can always unlace it for the pregnancy win. Not that I'm planning anything, I'm far too old for that now. But, oops, a modern sound included. Let's just fold it up. We are almost there. It was so much easier to be a common woman at that time, really. I mean, but dressing wise, much faster. Living, not so much. So you can see the back sort of sticks out a little bit, which is nice. And I've got my Partlet, which I might possibly need help of a mirror or a helpful. Oh, hold on, actually.
Helpful husband can help.
Helpful husband. I think helpful husband will have to go and do the job. Just dive underneath my armpit and
This one. That one to go.
I might need to edit that out.
Hang on, get the angle on it. Done. Once one's in, the others should follow. There we go. That one needs to be refitted, and this one is fine. There we are.
Oh,
Sorted.
much faster than pinning. I might put some pins on top. My partlet has escaped from my gown in all the commotion. So you can see it's possible to get dressed on your own, but it is very tricky. I've done it at some point in a car park. Now the sleeves are usually pinned with, not sure if we can, with brass pins to the kirtle so that they don't slip. This is needed if you have heavy cuffs. So I'm going to pin mine in, trying not to pin myself. It has happened. This one is missing a pin. Got a pin. Got a pin. So these are good long brass pins that will keep everything safe. I'll see if I can pin the escaping partlet together as well. That would be. I think it's gone. Yay! There. Now, I cannot be flashing. Sorry, I'm getting too close. I cannot be flashing forearms like these. So you have four sleeves. They can tie in, I forgot to tie them in, to the inside of the sleeve. And they are made in cloth of gold with some nice linen, beads and freshwater decorations, all bound with silk velvet. Very often you will see, or almost always, you will see nice cuffs around. These can be either pinned on the hand, which I'm going to do, and just peek out through, or they can be just basted in. Now they're not part of a chemise, or not very often at least, because it's much easier to wash them as they are, especially if they are black work. So you would just remove them from whatever they are attached, wash it, press it, and put it back in. So I'm going to pin them around my wrist first. And yes, we find lots and lots of pins in archaeological finds at that era and earlier as well. Pins were used for everything. They were cheap, convenient, and have an aptitude of disappearing from sight the moment you don't look. Well, hey, that's my pins. So the next bit is, hold on to this one please. So you've got my full sleeves. With a nice cuff. There's quite a few elements, as you can see, and as I said before, this is one of my heaviest outfits ever. So it's a bit of a palaver to get dressed. Now we're not there yet, but we're getting there. Girdle. Decorative. This one has an amazing, utterly amazing silk tassels from Gina B Silkworks. Work of art, just stunning. I'm really going to be very sorry to have this gown go. But hey, life. that's my tassels. And I think it's about time for me to do something with my hair. So coif off all the hats. I could really do with a mirror. Right. How are we doing here? Oh, a mirror is coming, fantastic. Yay. More pins, and I'm partially deaf now.
Welcome to the club, dear.
One. And two. So that's my foundation. Since I don't have enough of normal hair. And over that I put all my layers together. Hey, transformation. This is so cool. Oh, forgot, bling. Let's put bling on. One, two, three. Pearls were very, very popular at the time. But I think one will do, will be a little bit greedy otherwise. But I could do with a nice decorative jewel from my bodice, which I think the cats are sleeping on. Cannot find my jewel. I'll find it for the photos. I might need to wake the kitties for a bit. Just put some rings on. Yeah, I think kitties. Kitties. Nope. No jewel. I'll find it in a second. Anyway, I'm off to Tiverton Castle to take some nice photos, and I will take some videos of that as well. So you will see the gown in all its glory. It's quite difficult to do it here in a modern house. But I hope you enjoyed the dressing the Queen. Let's get it out. Oh, I'll get one more of these. So I'll see you outside. Right, where's my jewel? Well, we are here in Tiverton Castle, and I just remembered I forgot to mention about one thing, which is farthingale. Obviously, Catherine of Aragon is credited with bringing a farthingale, Spanish farthingale, to England when she married. And yes, we do have pictures showing the verdugados in Spanish, the sort of skirts stiffened with grass. However, we don't really have a lot of evidence of these styles being worn at that time. They did possibly take some time to just accustom to, I don't know. We see them later on, there was the 40s, but sort of 10s, 20s, 30s, all you have is just your big gowns and not a lot of a Spanish farthingale. This costume could take a Spanish farthingale. It has a lot of space in a skirt, but for the dating I'm using it doesn't have one. So anyway, let's have a look. It flows very nicely. And we have wonderful, wonderful gardens here. So I'm looking forward to taking some photos. And I've lost the pin. I'm being followed.